Hey, fellow adult toy collectors, welcome back to the Spector Creative channel. And on this video, I want to talk about a specific property and why kids are into it. Now, it's pretty clear why adult collectors are into what we collect. We like to complete teams, we like to regain nostalgia from when we were kids, we like to seek out our favorite characters of all time and get action figure versions of them so we could pose them how we want. And while the lion's share of toy sales are going to kids, obviously the adult collector is still important. But when it comes to kids, they're what drive imagination and the creation of new IP. It's usually created for kids. And when toy companies are looking to create a new brand or buy a new brand, they're looking for something that's aspirational, meaning a child wants to be that character. And when you look at a lot of brands that we grew up with, it's pretty clear. He-Man is super strong. Optimus Prime is basically your robot buddy, kind of like Iron Giant. I mean, what kid doesn't want a giant robot to be his friend and his protector? Or with superheroes, one of the most popular ones with kids is Batman, because he's got the coolest gadgets, and he's got a car and a boat and a plane, and he kicks butt. And then there's characters that's not quite sure why kids like them, like the Grimace. Never quite understood what his motivation is. I think it's to fill himself with hamburgers and french fries, but kind of staying away from him. It kind of creeps me out the more I think about it. And then there's the characters from Avatar. I made a video recently about how these characters aren't very aspirational for kids versus the humans in the movie are. And this analogy, and you can see a link to the video here, led to a lot of comments, like this one here from Aaron Snyder, saying, okay, great, kids don't want to be blue aliens that live in trees. I understand that, but how would you relate that to Ninja Turtles? Those are just green guys that live in sewers, in a way. How's that different from blue guys in trees? So let's dive into that. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, one of the last big brands I collected as a kid, as I transitioned from kid collector or kid player to adult collector in terms of toys, but I was a big Ninja Turtle kid towards the end of my childhood. So what is it about this for-some of ninja characters that kick butt and live in sewers and eat pizza and wear brightly colored bandanas? Well, that actually sums up a lot of what makes them aspirational. Yes, on the surface, they kind of seem wacky, crazy, and why would a kid want to be a green turtle waving around old-fashioned weapons? And a lot of this has to do with looking at the world from a child's point of view. And I don't mean the idea that children are naive and simplistic. I mean that as a child, you are small, and everything from adults to buildings to vehicles looks ginormous. Your parents look huge. They look like giants that tower over you. And if you're walking through the city and you look up and see a building, it looks like it reaches to the sky. There's a reason that kids love giant cars, giant trucks, giant construction machines, because they're huge. And having one as a toy gives a child ownership over a giant truck, and it makes it less frightening. The same with characters who might go from a weak form to a strong form. Very aspirational because the child is represented by the weak form and the strong form is represented by what they want to be, the way they see the world as much bigger. Alright, so that explains some obvious aspirational characters, but it still doesn't explain the Ninja Turtles. So we need to look at this a little deeper.
Let me explain. No, there is too much. Let me sum up. Buttercup is married.
Alright, so first off, Ninja Turtles represent protection. And no, I'm not talking because they're ninjas, I'm talking about because kids like to hide. They like to get away from the world because, again, world is a big, scary place. And being able to hide from the world is very aspirational to children. It's empowering to them. So why do Ninja Turtles represent the ability to hide?
Wait for me! God, I love being a turtle!
Yeah, they're turtles. Turtles naturally can hide inside of their shells. That's why the concept of a turtle is aspirational to a child. It gives them the ability to pull in and hide from the world, a natural fear. All right, and the flip side of that is aggression. So children are drawn to aggression, especially young boys, because it represents a core male fantasy, the ability to beat your opponent. And the Ninja Turtles are ninja. And being a ninja, being able to do all of those awesome kung fu moves and use ninja weapons is on its basis an aspirational, call it career. Children want to be pirates, ninjas, and astronauts, and cowboys. It's, in the top 5. Kids want to grow up and become a ninja. So the idea that they can be a Ninja Turtle as a teenager without even becoming an adult, that they can be a full ninja just in a few years, well, that's why kids are so into Kung Fu. That's why they like it. It gives them a sense of protection and being aggressive because they can protect themselves. And they can see the Ninja Turtles as basically members of their Kung Fu class. They even have colorful belts and colorful headbands, just like you get in Kung Fu lessons. Another big reason the Ninja Turtles are aspirational is their weapons. They don't just have weapons, they have what are called in the toy industry signature weapons, meaning a weapon that when it's shown, if you just saw a sai or a bow or a nunchuck, you would know immediately which Ninja Turtle wields that weapon. Well, if you're a fan of them or you're a parent with kids with them, maybe not, every human being on the planet would know this, but if you were talking Ninja Turtles and you just showed a weapon, it's easy to identify which one goes with which turtle, and that's very, very aspirational for kids. All right, another key part is fantasy, and I'm not talking about unicorns running around forests, I'm talking about sewers. And you're saying, well, wait a minute, sewers are a fantasy? Have you met a 5-year-old boy that doesn't want to crawl into the sewer and make a fort? Sewers represent a place on planet Earth, like right in your city, where you can escape and you can hide and you can have a fortress and a place no one can find you. Of course the Ninja Turtles are aspirational. They live in the sewers, one of the places kids love to explore and enter, but is forbidden from them. The Turtles go there. The other fantasy is, well, pizza. Yes, I mean, I'm not talking about turning into a piece of pizza and, karate chopping people. And no, I'm not talking about this kind of fantasy with pizza. I better not tell my wife about that one. What I'm talking about is pizza as an unlimited food supply. It is absolutely right up there as a top 3 food of all time for children, especially, again, young boys. And they see themselves. This is, they want to be like the Turtles in the sense that the Turtles can eat constant pizza and they want to be, like them. They want to be like the twin, just like their favorite characters and just be able to consume massive amounts of pizza. They see the Turtles as just like them. They're very similar to themselves because they eat the same type of food. All right, so what about the real world? What about the fact that unlike things like He-Man or Star Wars that take place, in different planets, the Ninja Turtles live in the real world. But they live in the shadows, which again is very attractive for kids because when they play fantasy, it all goes into that ability to hide yet be aggressive at the same time and spring out. The Ninja Turtles are always safe. They're safe in the sewers, they're safe in their shells, but they also have that ability to kick butt, and they're never sorry about that. And that is a core fantasy for young children, and it's why the Ninja Turtles represent such an abundance of aspiration. The Ninja Turtles were not created by a spreadsheet like a lot of characters are today for movies, where it's like, oh, we have to have a character of this gender and this size and this skill level. They were created almost as a goof, where Eastman and Laird said, oh, they drew a turtle and put ninja, equipment on it, and it became an instant hit. It came out of love. It came out of a very organic experience. And that is what makes the best characters, the ones that come from the heart, come from a creator who just births a character, not because they're asked to by a company or a movie studio. And you can see this in, almost every iteration of the Turtles. Okay, there's been a few that have been a little out there, but it's why they work year after year. They are so aspirational to kids because they live in the real world. They eat the food they want to eat. They live where kids want to live. They have the job kids want to have. And as turtles, they represent the natural ability to hide. Well, maybe a little too much. Anyway, that's all about Ninja Turtles and why kids love them so much. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do share it with friends. It helps tell YouTube to keep sharing it. And let me know any other topics you'd like to see covered here on the Spector Creative channel. Thanks for watching.